As a brain doctor who has treated countless seniors facing the devastating aftermath of stroke, I must sound an urgent warning today. You may think that the salty snacks sitting in your pantry are harmless little pleasures, a way to relax with a movie or to pass the time with friends. But the truth is shocking. These everyday snacks are quietly damaging your arteries, raising your blood pressure, and setting the stage for a life-changing stroke. Stroke does not happen suddenly without reason. It builds over years of choices. And one of the most dangerous choices is allowing hidden sodium to flood your body day after day. When you are over 60, your blood vessels are already less elastic. Your heart is working harder. And your brain depends on steady circulation more than ever. Add a steady stream of salty chips, crackers, or popcorn, and you are quietly eroding your body's defenses. I have seen too many patients who swore they ate healthy meals, but ignored the damage done by the handfuls of snacks in between. They thought they were safe until the day their speech slurred, their face drooped, and their independence vanished in seconds. This video is not about taking away your joy. It is about protecting your future, your ability to walk, to talk, and to live on your own terms. In the next sections, I will reveal 7 salty snacks that are slowly damaging your arteries and increasing your risk of stroke. More importantly, I will show you better alternatives that can satisfy your cravings without destroying your health. Before we dive in, if you have not subscribed yet, I recommend you hit that button and turn on the bell so you never miss another health tip made just for you. If you enjoy this video, type 1 in the comments. If not, type 0 to let me know how I can make better content for you. Part 1. Potato chips, the silent blood pressure bomb. For decades, potato chips have been marketed as fun, harmless, and addictive snacks. The crinkle of the bag, the salty crunch, the quick satisfaction, they make it feel like you are treating yourself to something small and innocent. But as a brain doctor, I must tell you the truth. Potato chips are not harmless. They are one of the most powerful contributors to high blood pressure, stiff arteries, and stroke among seniors. And the danger is not just in the salt you taste, but in the hidden sodium and fats that quietly poison your circulation with every handful. A single small bag of potato chips can contain over 200 milligrams of sodium, sometimes far more depending on the flavor. The larger family-size bags, which many people snack on without measuring, can push your intake into the thousands. For seniors, the recommended daily limit is less than 1,500 milligrams of sodium. Just a few handfuls of chips can reach that limit in minutes. Sodium causes your body to retain water, increasing the volume of blood in your vessels. This raises blood pressure and puts constant strain on your heart and the delicate arteries feeding your brain. The result is chronic hypertension, the #1 risk factor for both ischemic and hemorrhagic strokes. But the sodium is only half the story. Potato chips are fried in oils that often contain unhealthy trans fats or saturated fats. These fats contribute to plaque buildup inside the arteries, a process called atherosclerosis. Plaques narrow the vessels, making them brittle and more likely to rupture or clog. Imagine a pipe in your house filled with grease and grit, water struggling to flow through. That is what your arteries look like after years of salty, fatty snacking. For your brain, even a momentary blockage can cause permanent damage. I remember treating a 69-year-old woman who thought she had been eating healthily because she rarely ate desserts or fast food. But she confessed she loved her potato chips, eating a bag almost every evening while watching television. One night, she suddenly lost feeling on the right side of her body and collapsed. By the time she reached the hospital, she was in the middle of a massive ischemic stroke, and her blood pressure had been sky high for years, silently fueled by her nightly chip habit. Despite treatment, she never regained full use of her arm. The frightening truth is that potato chips do not even taste extremely salty anymore. Companies mask the sodium with flavor powders, cheese dust, or artificial seasonings. That means you can be consuming dangerous amounts without realizing it. And because chips are designed to be addictive, it is rare for someone to stop after just a few bites. Each crunch is a step closer to hardened arteries and the stroke that could take away your independence. The solution is not to deny yourself all crunch or flavor. Air-popped popcorn without butter or salt can give you the same satisfying texture without the sodium bomb. Sliced vegetables with a light drizzle of olive oil. Baked until crisp. You can also replace chips while nourishing your arteries instead of attacking them. The point is not to take away pleasure, but to replace harmful habits with healing ones. If you thought potato chips were harmless, now you see the truth. They are not just a snack. They are a silent blood pressure bomb. And for seniors, each bite carries a risk that builds with time. And if this shocked you, wait until you hear about salted peanuts. They may look healthier, but when it comes to your arteries, the danger runs just as deep. Part 2. Salted peanuts, healthy disguise, but artery enemy. At first glance, peanuts seem like one of the healthiest snacks you could choose. They are packed with plant protein, contain heart-friendly fats, and even provide fiber. Many seniors have been told by their doctors or by magazines that nuts are good for the heart and brain. And in their natural, unsalted state, that is often true. But here is where the danger hides. Once you take those same peanuts and roast them with salt, flavorings, and oils, they transform from a healthy snack into an artery enemy that can quietly push you toward hypertension, vascular damage, and stroke. Salted peanuts are deceptive because they come wrapped in the aura of being a natural food. The packaging shows fields, shells, or smiling farmers, making you believe you are doing something right for your health. Yet a single small handful can contain up to 200 milligrams of sodium or more. And most people never stop at just one handful. During a casual afternoon or while watching television, it is easy to eat hundreds of peanuts without realizing the toll they are taking. The sodium floods your system, forcing your blood vessels to constrict and your blood pressure to climb. For seniors whose arteries are already stiffened by age, that extra pressure can mean the difference between safety and rupture. The problem is magnified because many roasted peanuts are cooked in low-quality oils to preserve shelf life. These oils add unnecessary calories and can tip the balance toward weight gain, metabolic stress, and worsening cholesterol profiles. Some brands even coat peanuts with sugary or flavored powders that combine both sodium and sugar. A disastrous pairing for circulation and brain health. For elderly women in particular, who already face a higher lifetime risk of stroke compared to men, salted peanuts become a dangerous daily indulgence. I once spoke to a 72-year-old gentleman who came to my clinic with concerns about sudden dizzy spells and occasional slurred speech. His meals were moderate, and he rarely ate fast food. But when I asked about snacks, he admitted he kept a jar of salted peanuts by his recliner, eating them throughout the day. Tests revealed that his blood pressure was spiking dramatically and his cholesterol was edging higher. He had already suffered a minor transient ischemic attack, a mini stroke, without realizing it. Those healthy peanuts had been masking a serious danger all along. The key to understanding this lies in moderation and preparation. Unsalted peanuts or other raw nuts can indeed support your health, lowering LDL cholesterol and providing anti-inflammatory benefits. But once salt is added in heavy amounts, those benefits are overshadowed by the cardiovascular strain. Your arteries do not care that peanuts contain protein. They respond to the sodium and inflammatory oils by tightening, stiffening, and accumulating plaque. If you crave nuts, the safer alternative is simple. Choose raw or lightly roasted unsalted peanuts, almonds, or walnuts. You can sprinkle them on a salad, mix them into oatmeal, or enjoy them in small handfuls. Better yet, pair them with fruit or vegetables so you satisfy both crunch and flavor without the sodium bomb. Your body gets the nutrients without the hidden risks. Salted peanuts wear a healthy disguise. But for seniors, they are an artery enemy. Every handful chips away at your vascular health and moves you closer to a devastating stroke. And if you thought peanuts were the only misleading snack, wait until you hear about pretzels. These twisted little treats are marketed as light and crunchy. But in reality, they can be even worse for your arteries. Part 3. Pretzels, the crunchy trap for your arteries. Pretzels are often seen as the lighter alternative to chips or fried snacks. They are baked, not fried. They feel airy and crisp, almost harmless. And they are often marketed as a smart choice for people trying to lose weight or eat healthier. Seniors especially may believe pretzels are safer because they do not feel greasy. But here is the truth that food companies never highlight. Pretzels are nothing more than refined white flour coated in salt, delivering a double blow to your arteries. They may not leave oil on your fingers, but they leave damage inside your blood vessels every time you eat them. The main ingredient in pretzels is refined flour. Once it enters your body, it breaks down quickly into sugar, causing rapid spikes in blood sugar levels. For seniors with prediabetes, diabetes, or insulin resistance, this can be devastating. Blood sugar spikes inflame your arteries, damage the lining of blood vessels, and contribute to plaque buildup. This alone is dangerous. But pretzels do not stop there. They are heavily coated with salt, sometimes holding more sodium per serving than potato chips. That salty coating makes you thirsty, leading many to reach for sugary sodas or beers, which compounds the problem. So in one snacking session, you are not just getting refined carbs, but also enough sodium to raise your blood pressure to dangerous levels. Studies have shown that diets high in refined carbohydrates and sodium are directly linked to increased risk of ischemic stroke, the kind caused by blocked arteries. The combination inflames vessel walls and makes it easier for clots to form and lodge in the brain. I have treated patients who ate pretzels daily as their safe snack only to find themselves admitted with stroke symptoms. One woman in her late 60s told me she thought pretzels were helping her keep weight off. But after years of eating them, her blood pressure was uncontrolled and her cholesterol numbers worsened. She collapsed one afternoon with sudden weakness on her left side. A brain scan revealed a clot cutting off blood flow. Her so-called light snack had been slowly paving the way to that moment. What makes pretzels even more insidious is how easy they are to overeat, because they feel light and crisp. You can eat handful after handful without feeling full. That means even more sodium, more refined carbs, and more vascular strain. Seniors with already narrowed arteries or fragile blood vessels may not realize that each bag of pretzels is training their body toward a catastrophic event. The safer path is to replace pretzels with whole grain alternatives. Whole grain crackers with no added salt provide fiber that supports digestion and heart health. Sliced cucumbers or bell peppers sprinkled with herbs can also deliver the crunch you crave without the sodium bomb. Even homemade air-popped popcorn with just a pinch of herbs offers satisfaction without endangering your arteries. Pretzels may look innocent, but they are a crunchy trap for your arteries. They combine the worst of both worlds, refined carbs that spike blood sugar and sodium that spikes blood pressure. For seniors, that is a dangerous recipe for stroke. And if you think pretzels are bad, just wait until you hear about salted popcorn. That innocent movie snack may be doing even more damage than you realize. Part 4. Salted popcorn, hidden danger in a movie snack. Popcorn is often thought of as a healthy, whole grain snack. And in its purest form, it can be air-popped popcorn without salt or butter provides fiber, antioxidants, and a light, satisfying crunch. But the moment you take that same popcorn and drench it in salt, butter flavorings, and oils, it turns from a wholesome snack into a hidden danger for your arteries. For seniors, especially those already managing blood pressure or heart issues, salted popcorn becomes a silent trigger for hypertension, stiffened blood vessels, and increased stroke risk. The first problem is sodium. A medium-sized tub of movie theater popcorn can contain over 2,000 milligrams of sodium, exceeding the entire recommended daily limit for seniors in one sitting. Add in butter flavoring, which is not real butter, but a chemical cocktail of trans fats and artificial oils, and you are feeding your body an inflammatory storm. Sodium makes your body hold on to water, raising the pressure inside your arteries, while trans fats stiffen and damage vessel walls. This 1-2 punch weakens circulation and sets the stage for clots, ruptures, and ultimately stroke. The second problem is portion size. Nobody eats just a handful of salted popcorn. Whether at a movie theater or at home in front of the television, the habit is to eat by the bowl or tub, sometimes for hours at a time. That means prolonged salt exposure and a steady stream of unhealthy oils. For seniors, this can lead to sudden spikes in blood pressure, swelling in the legs, and headaches over months and years, and it quietly raises the baseline blood pressure, damaging arteries until one day they can no longer cope. I recall a 70-year-old patient who came in with blurred vision and dizziness. She was shocked when I told her blood pressure was dangerously high. She insisted she rarely ate processed food. But when we discussed snacks, she admitted she loved her nightly ritual of salted popcorn with extra seasoning. She thought popcorn was a safe, whole grain. But the reality was that her nightly sodium intake had been silently harming her arteries for years. Shortly after, she experienced a transient ischemic attack, a warning stroke that could have turned fatal had she ignored the signs. The tragedy is that popcorn itself is not the problem. It is what we add to it. Unsalted air-popped popcorn is light, rich in antioxidants, and protective for your digestive system. But once salt, butter flavoring, and oils are piled on, it becomes a snack that directly undermines your health. Seniors who enjoy popcorn should stick to plain air-popped kernels, seasoned lightly with herbs or a sprinkle of turmeric for flavor. That way, you keep the crunch and satisfaction without sacrificing your arteries. Salted popcorn is a perfect example of how something that looks wholesome can hide a dangerous truth. It is not just about what you eat, but how it is prepared and seasoned. And if you think salted popcorn is bad, The next snack may shock you even more. Packaged instant noodles. A pantry staple for many. Carry enough sodium and additives to quietly push your arteries to the brink. Part 5. Instant noodles, the sodium bomb in your pantry. Instant noodles have long been marketed as a quick, comforting meal. For many seniors, they are cheap, easy to prepare, and bring back memories of busy days when cooking a full meal felt impossible. But behind that convenience hides a dangerous truth. Instant noodles are one of the biggest sodium bombs you can put into your body, and for older adults whose arteries are already fragile. They can quietly push you toward hypertension, weakened circulation, and ultimately stroke. The first problem is obvious: the seasoning packet. That little pouch of flavor often contains more than 1,500 milligrams of sodium, nearly the entire recommended daily intake for a senior in a single serving. And many people use the entire packet, sometimes even two, if they want extra flavor. This sodium overload forces your body to retain fluid, increases blood volume, and puts relentless pressure on the walls of your arteries. Over time, this chronic pressure damages the delicate lining of your blood vessels, encouraging plaque buildup and narrowing. In elderly women and men alike, that narrowing can easily lead to ischemic stroke, where a clot blocks blood flow to the brain. The second danger comes from the noodles themselves. Instant noodles are highly processed, stripped of most fiber and nutrients, leaving behind refined starch that quickly spikes blood sugar. For seniors living with diabetes or insulin resistance, this rapid surge in glucose inflames the circulatory system and accelerates vascular aging. Combined with the sodium surge, it is a recipe for disaster. Some brands also fry their noodles in unhealthy oils before packaging, adding trans fats that further stiffen arteries and worsen cholesterol profiles. I remember a 69-year-old man who came to my clinic after experiencing sudden numbness on one side of his face. Fortunately, it was only a transient ischemic attack, but his blood pressure was dangerously high. When I asked about his diet, he admitted he ate instant noodles almost every day because they were cheap and easy. He had no idea those convenient packets had been fueling the very condition that nearly took his independence away. Instant noodles are especially deceptive because they are marketed as light and fast, but the hidden load of sodium, refined carbs, and additives makes them one of the most dangerous snacks in a senior's pantry. And unlike a piece of fruit or a slice of whole grain bread, instant noodles provide almost no real nourishment. They fill your stomach but starve your body of the nutrients it needs to stay strong. If you enjoy noodles, there are safer alternatives. Whole grain pasta, rice noodles, or even zucchini noodles can be prepared with fresh herbs and a dash of olive oil, providing flavor without the sodium overload. Seniors can also make homemade broth with vegetables and lean protein, seasoning lightly with garlic, ginger, or turmeric instead of relying on those sodium-laden packets. By swapping instant noodles for real food, you protect your arteries, stabilize your blood sugar, and reduce your stroke risk dramatically. Instant noodles may look harmless sitting on the shelf, but for seniors, they are a ticking time bomb. Every packet chips away at your vascular health until one day the damage becomes irreversible. And if you think noodles are bad, wait until you learn about canned soups. They wear the disguise of being warm and comforting, yet they are loaded with salt that can silently erode your arteries. Meal by meal. Part 6. Canned soups. Comfort food with a hidden cost. For many seniors, canned soup feels like a safe, familiar comfort It is warm, easy to prepare, and often marketed as heart healthy or low fat. On a cold evening, opening a can and heating it in minutes feels like a blessing. But hidden inside those cans is one of the most underestimated threats to your arteries. Canned soups, even the ones labeled healthy, are often loaded with sodium levels that silently raise your blood pressure and increase your stroke risk over time. Let us start with the numbers. A single serving of canned soup can contain up to 900 milligrams of sodium. But here is the trick: most cans contain at least 2 servings. That means if you eat the whole can, which most people do, you are consuming nearly 2,000 milligrams of sodium in one sitting. For seniors, this is more than the total daily limit recommended by health experts. Eating that much salt forces your arteries to stiffen, increases the strain on your heart, and sets up the conditions for a clot or hemorrhage to strike. The problem does not end with salt. Many canned soups also contain preservatives, artificial flavors, and fillers like modified starches. These additives may not sound dangerous, but they promote inflammation throughout the body. Chronic inflammation is a key factor in weakening arteries and damaging the protective lining inside your blood vessels. Seniors who eat canned soups regularly may notice swelling in the ankles, headaches, or fatigue without realizing that their blood vessels are quietly paying the price. I recall one patient, a 72-year-old widow who lived alone. She did not like cooking for herself, so she relied on canned soups for most of her meals. She thought she was eating light and staying healthy. But over the years, her blood pressure crept higher, her circulation worsened, and eventually she suffered a serious ischemic stroke. When we reviewed her diet, we found that she had been consuming more than 4,000 milligrams of sodium every day just from soup. What seemed like a harmless choice had been silently stealing her health. There is also the psychological trap of healthy labels. Many brands advertise low-fat or light versions of canned soup, which makes seniors believe they are safe. But low-fat does not mean low sodium. In fact, many of these so-called healthier versions contain just as much salt, if not more, to make up for the flavor lost by reducing fat. For seniors, this false sense of security can be deadly. The good news is that soup itself is not the enemy. Homemade soups made from fresh vegetables, beans, lentils, and lean proteins can be incredibly nourishing. Using herbs like garlic, thyme, rosemary, or turmeric adds flavor without flooding your arteries with sodium. Even if you want convenience, there are brands of low-sodium broth that allow you to make quick, healthy soups at home. Canned soups remind us of an important lesson. It is not the comfort food itself that is the problem, but how it is prepared and processed. For seniors, every can of soup loaded with sodium is another step closer to stiff arteries, high blood pressure, and stroke. If you want comfort, let it come from real food made with care, not from a factory filled with salt and preservatives. And if canned soup shocked you, wait until you hear about the final snack on this list. Pickled vegetables, a tradition in many homes, may feel wholesome, but the salt they carry could be doing long-term damage to your arteries every time you take a bite. Part 7. Pickled vegetables, the traditional favorite that harms circulation. Pickled vegetables carry with them a sense of nostalgia and tradition. For many seniors, they are tied to family meals, holidays, and cultural recipes passed down through generations. A crunchy pickle with a sandwich, tangy sauerkraut with dinner, or spicy pickled radishes on the side of rice. These flavors bring back memories and comfort, but while the taste may feel wholesome, the truth is far less kind. Pickled vegetables are one of the most sodium-heavy foods in a senior's diet, and they slowly but surely damage your arteries, raise your blood pressure, and increase your risk of stroke. The danger begins with how pickling works. The process relies on salt to preserve vegetables and prevent bacterial growth. That means every bite of pickled cucumber, carrot, or cabbage is packed with sodium. Just one medium-sized pickle can contain more than 300 milligrams of sodium. And few people stop at one. A small bowl of pickled vegetables with a meal can easily push your sodium intake into the thousands of milligrams, putting enormous strain on your blood vessels in a single sitting. For seniors whose arteries are already less elastic, this sudden surge in sodium is like forcing a fragile hose to withstand too much water pressure. Over time, it leads to microdamage, stiffened vessel walls, and heightened risk of clots or hemorrhage. Beyond the salt, many commercial pickled products also contain preservatives and artificial coloring. These additives promote inflammation and oxidative stress, two processes that accelerate the weakening of your vascular system. Combined with the sodium overload, it becomes a recipe for disaster. Seniors often notice headaches, swelling in the hands or feet, or dizziness after eating pickled foods. But few connect these symptoms to their beloved side dish. Sadly, the connection becomes clear only after a serious event, like a stroke or heart attack. I remember an elderly patient, a 74-year-old woman, who prided herself on her homemade pickles. She ate them daily, believing they were natural and safe compared to processed snacks. Yet, her blood pressure remained dangerously high despite medication. When she suffered a hemorrhagic stroke, the link became tragically clear. Her daily salt intake from those jars had been undermining her health for years. But this does not mean seniors must give up flavor or tradition. There are safer alternatives. Fermented vegetables made with less salt, such as kimchi or sauerkraut, prepared carefully at home, can provide probiotics and nutrients without overwhelming sodium levels. Using vinegar-based pickling methods with herbs and spices like garlic, dill, and turmeric can also enhance flavor while reducing salt content. Seniors who crave the tangy bite of pickled food should enjoy them sparingly, as an occasional treat rather than a daily staple. Pickled vegetables highlight one of the most important lessons about stroke prevention. The danger often hides in the foods we trust the most. What feels wholesome and traditional can quietly be loading your arteries with salt and preservatives that slowly destroy circulation. Every bite adds up. And for seniors, the cost may be their independence, mobility, or even their life. Now that we have uncovered 7 salty snacks that silently damage your arteries, the real question is what to do next. How can seniors replace these risky foods with healthier alternatives that still bring joy and satisfaction? That is where the conclusion of this guide comes in, offering not just warnings but a path forward to protect your arteries, your brain, and your future. Doctor's final words. After decades of treating seniors who suffered strokes, I can tell you that the danger rarely comes from a single moment. It builds quietly, one salty snack at a time, one careless habit repeated day after day. Potato chips, salted crackers, pretzels, popcorn, instant noodles, canned soups, and pickled vegetables may look harmless, but together they deliver a relentless assault of sodium, preservatives, and empty calories that stiffen your arteries, raise your blood pressure, and damage your circulation. Each bite feels comforting in the moment, but over months and years. These foods strip away your independence, your mobility, and your clarity of mind. The tragedy is that most seniors never see it coming until the day they suddenly cannot speak, cannot lift an arm, or cannot remember the face of a loved one. But here is the good news. Your body still remembers how to heal. Every small change you make today begins to restore balance. Replacing chips with fresh nuts, trading canned soup for homemade broth, choosing whole grain crackers instead of salted ones, or enjoying fresh vegetables instead of pickled ones are not sacrifices. They are gifts to your future self. A single choice may not seem powerful, but repeated daily, it becomes the difference between living fully and living in fear of the next stroke. So share this message with someone you love. Teach them the truth about hidden sodium and its quiet damage. And remember, prevention is not about fear. It is about freedom. Every step you take to reduce salt and protect your arteries is a step toward more mornings of walking on your own, more afternoons with your grandchildren, more years of clarity and independence. Now, I would love to hear from you. Take a moment to reflect and share one change you plan to make in your own diet starting today. Let us support each other on this journey toward stronger hearts, sharper minds, and healthier lives. If you enjoyed this video, comment 1. If not, comment 0. Do not forget to like, share, and subscribe so you never miss another tip made just for you. Because when we protect our arteries, we do not just prevent strokes. We protect the life we love.